Hello, hello. Am I going through? Yeah, I'm going through. We're good. Sweet. Welcome, everyone. I'm Aaron.
Oh, I'm Des. Sorry. I'm more like focusing on why I'm washed out, and I realized because I have a white screen on right now.
Oh, yeah. It's okay, though. And this is the AskTheRaCast. In this episode, oh, wow, I didn't even put a space in there. Look at me. In this episode, we're going to be going through session 6 of the Raw Contact.
Yes. Okay, but before we start, we are not experts. We do not claim to be spiritual gurus. These episodes contain our interpretations and opinions of the materials discussed. We implore you to not take our interpretation as the only understanding of the materials. The materials themselves are the only authoritative sources available. We encourage all listeners and viewers taking in our content to use their own discernment in regards to the materials we discuss. If anyone feels any attractive interest in the materials discussed herein, it is our perception that one should access the source material. Did you already put it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. In their own study to come in their own study to come to their own conclusions. Links are provided now, and they will always be provided because someone likes pushing buttons.
Yes.
Thank you for your continued support and drive towards our spiritual polarization, and welcome to the family. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
You are listening to a cassette recording of a channeling session from the Raw Contact, a series of 106 sessions that were conducted between 1981 and 1984, using a form of tuned trance telepathy. Throughout these sessions, a group of entities identified as Ra shared information regarding the Law of One, spiritual evolution, and a variety of esoteric topics through a series of questions and answers. The full text transcript of these recorded sessions can be read for free at lnlresearch.org, where you can also learn more about this audio and its origins. This recording is intended for personal study and is not available for commercial use. Please contact LNL Research if you wish to use this audio in any other way.
Raw, session number 6, January 24th, 1981.
Ra, I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. I communicate now.
You would like to continue the material from yesterday.
I am Ra. This is well with us. We proceed now.
And we're just going to leave it with that because the beginning of this has a lot of stuff. So as you heard in that little sample of the original session recordings, we're going to be continuing the material that we started last week. You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's
Can
get
we
started.
start first?
I mean, I can start.
Okay.
It's up to you.
You can start then.
Okay, so you heard Don ask about continuing. And here goes Ra with a whole slew of things. Just going to plug this back in so it doesn't... There we go. So Ra says, we proceed now with the third area of teach learning, considering the development of the energy powers of healing. The third area is a spiritual complex which embodies the fields of force and consciousness, which are the least distorted of your mind-body-spirit complex. The exploration and balancing of the spirit complex is indeed the longest and most subtle part of your learned teaching. We have considered the mind as a tree. The mind controls the body. With the mind single-pointed, balanced, and aware, the body comfortable in whatever biases and distortions make it appropriately balanced for that instrument. The instrument is then ready to proceed with the great work. Excuse me. That is the work of wind and fire. The spiritual body energy field is a pathway or channel. When body and mind are receptive and open, then the spirit can become a functioning shuttle or communicator from the entity's individual energy of will upwards and from the streamings of the creative fire and winds downwards. The healing ability, like all other what this instrument would call paranormal abilities, is affected by the opening of a pathway or shuttle into intelligent infinity. Got it?
Slightly.
Okay. Where's your...
It's not the confusion again.
Just there's
it's
a
not.
lot.
Yes, it's never really confusion. It's just you have to sit there and process. Yes.
We may
Until
have
it
to,
is until it is confusion.
right,
I'm like
we may
that's
have to
confusing.
start considering maybe starting the episodes with like, hey, little...
Move that over there.
Why?
So it's not in the camera.
I don't mind it being in the camera.
I do.
Okay. It's going to be in the camera every time I take a swiggle.
That's fine, but it's not here making a big bulk.
Okay. Just my hand on the top lay. But we might want to kind of do a little recap thing, but I'm not sure how I'd want to go about that, honestly. I don't know. There's just so much. We'll see. Maybe we'll just get someone to plan this for us and we just read it all and do it. Instead of me doing everything. All right, we'll continue. There are many upon your plane who have a random hole or gateway in their spirit energy field, sometimes created by the ingestion of chemicals such as what this instrument would call LSD, who are able, randomly and without control, to tap into the energy sources. So basically, take some acid and you can reach intelligent infinity. Makes sense. They may or may not be entities who wish to serve. The purpose of carefully and consciously opening this channel is to serve in a more dependable way, in a more commonplace or usual way, as seen by the distortion complex of the healer. To others, there may appear to be miracles. To the one who has carefully opened the door to intelligent infinity, this is ordinary. This is commonplace. This is as it should be. The life experience becomes somewhat transformed and the great work goes on. Fairly simple in that one, actually.
Yeah.
Like, you can take acid to do this, or you can just do it through meditation, contemplation, and chakra work. The usual. At this time, we feel these exercises suffice for your beginning. We will, at a future time, when you feel you have accomplished that which is set before you, begin to guide you into a more precise understanding of the functions and uses of this gateway in the experience of healing. Thank you, Ra. You're like, that's it. Now try it. Come back to us later for part, 5. So randomly in this session, and you'll notice the more and more we continue to go through these, there will be random spots where Don seems to go off track. But what's important to keep in mind is they'll, if I'm understanding this correctly, they'll have pre-written notes that they want to ask, follow-up questions from previous sessions that they want clarification on, questions that come to them during their morning meditations, and also in the middle of the sessions, they will continue or they will ask for additional information. Mm-hmm. So through the whole thing, it will kind of just veer off out of nowhere for a little while, and then it'll come back on track, and then it'll divvy this way, and it goes all over the place.
It's human nature.
It is, and it also makes for an extremely interesting listen, because you're like, oh yeah, made the pyramids. Oh yeah, Can someone else come to the sessions to hang out with us? Then you're like, what?
It's just like, oh, by the way.
By the way, aliens, those UFO saucer things, did you do that too? Which ironically is what we're going to get into. So at this point, Don actually asked if a friend may attend the session, and I'm only going to include this one time, because there's a couple other times where this happens, mostly just to kind of share Ra's response to it, because it is somewhat interesting.
So Ross says this is fine so long as they are made aware of all the intricacies of the process, to accept them in love light, and appreciate that these are all precautions needed to nurture the instrument.
And those are quotes.
Yes. Ra then states that the importance of the process must be thoroughly explained to their friend, and they must understand the pertinence. So let's get some more history on Ra. Whoop whoop.
Yeah. Like I said, just random. Hey, can
Yeah,
this
hey,
guy
by the
come
way.
hang out? And also, where did you come from? Because Don literally asked Roz about Ra's history before coming to visit us on Earth.
So Don then asks of Ra's history before coming to Earth.
That's literally what I just said.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You spaced.
I didn't space. I was actually reading as you were talking. I was reading this part.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, my apologies. Ra says, I am Ra.
It's that Moscato running through your system right now.
I don't think so. Ra says, I am Ra. I am with the social memory complex, of which I am part one of those who voyaged outward from another planet within your solar system, as this entity would call it. The planetary influence was that you call Venus. We are a race old in your measures. When we were at the sixth dimension, our physical beings were what you would call golden. We were tall and somewhat delicate. Our physical body complex covering, which you call the integument, had a golden luster.
And what's important here, there's a little editor's note in the raw contact. I'm not sure if there's anything like this in the raw material, but in the raw contact, that the editor notes, a number of clues seem to indicate that Ra intended to say third dimension here instead of sixth, including the information given in session 6, question 7. And because they speak of the physical body complex and the integument, which we know from other transmissions that in the sixth density they have become light. So saying, due to complications in the channel, there's a miscommunication that came through. Will Ross said sixth, probably thinking because they are sixth now, trying to describe themselves in history, meant to say third. And the context, the context clues indicate that.
What's an integument?
Your body.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So, moving on. In this form, we decided to come among your peoples. Your peoples at that time were much unlike us in physical appearance, as you may call it. We, thus, did not mix well with the population and were obviously other than they. That doesn't make sense in my opinion. Why does that sentence not make sense?
Why?
I don't know.
Like
Brain
what?
is just not...
So they're saying...
It's not the context, it's just the way the sentence is said.
So Ra did not mix well with the population because they were other than the population.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
You're good.
Thus, our visit was relatively short, for we found ourselves in the hypocritical position of being acclaimed as other than your other selves. This was the time during which we built the structures in which you show interest.
Yeah. Which I believe we already went through before, where Ra says they realizing their position in hypocrisy pulled out. Yeah.
Peace.
So we're going to kind of shotgun these questions real quick. So Don asks, how did you journey from Venus?
We use thought.
Would it be possible to take one of the people at that time from our planet and place him on Venus? Would he survive? Were conditions much... Okay, and this is where it happens a few times where it gets inaudible on the tape. So we can kind of assume what's being said with context clues. So this is my assumption. Like, we're going to assume that it was something along the lines of, were conditions much more suitable to a third density experience?
The third density conditions are not hospitable to the life forms of your peoples. The fifth and sixth dimensions of that planetary sphere are quite conducive to growing, learning, teaching.
How are you able to make the transition from Venus, and I assume the sixth dimension, which would that be invisible when you reach there? Did you have to change your dimensions to walk on the Earth?
You will remember the exercise of the wind. The dissolution into nothingness is the dissolution into unity, for there is no nothingness. From the sixth dimension, we are capable of manipulating, by thought, the intelligent infinity present in each particle of light, or distorted light, so that we are able to clothe ourselves in a replica visible to in the third density of our mind-body-spirit complexes in the sixth density. We are allowed this experiment by the Council, which guards this planet.
So before we get into the Council, is this pretty clear?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's kind of weird because being a Libra, my planet is Venus and my sign is air.
Mm-hmm.
So it just resonates. It's pretty dope. Anyway.
That's good. So now we're getting into the Council, which is what got me excited. For the same reason yours is Capricorn and Saturn.
Well, what's horrible is I hear Council and I've been playing Mass Effect and I go, Council.
Well, this is actually kind of the same idea. Ironically enough, it's almost like language transcends time. Oh. Where is this council located?
This council is located in the octave or eighth dimension of the planet Saturn, taking its place in an area which you understand in third dimensional terms as the rings.
Isn't that dope? When the first time I heard this, I'm just like, what? And I played it back. I'm like, you're shitting me.
Did you do it again? Did you play it back again just to make sure that you were hearing it correctly?
Only one time.
Oh, okay. It would have been funny if you did it more than once.
Nope, didn't need to, because I was like, sick. I'm a Cap, my planet's Saturn, the councils and the rings kind of makes sense with how we think in general and function.
Yep.
Are there any people, such as you find on Earth, or any of the other planets in this solar system?
I'm sorry, that sentence sounded weird.
Okay, let me change my emphasis. Are there any other people, such as you find on Earth, on any other planets in the solar system?
That made it much better.
Right?
At one time, space, and what is your past? There was a population of third density beings upon a planet which dwelt within your solar system.
Notice the past tense there.
There are various names by which this planet has been named. The vibratory sound complex most usually used by your peoples is Maldek.
Okay, let's stop there. Before talking with me about this and going through this, have you heard of Maldek before?
Yes, I did.
You did?
I've heard of it. Don't ask me how.
Okay.
Don't ask me why.
Okay.
Because I have no idea.
I've never heard of it.
Like, you said Maldek, I'm like, oh, I know that name.
Yeah.
And then there's like, why do I know that name?
Yeah, I've never heard of it. So if anyone else has ever heard of it, and like I was going to say earlier and forgot to, excuse me, if anyone ever has any questions about the material specifically, you of course can go to LL and get their thing. And actually, if you go to their lawof1.info, that's a more deeper dive. Well, you can go to them and they'll give you some information, or you can always email us at AskTheRaCast@gmail.com. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Or you can get us on Twitter, The Rockcast. You can message us here on Twitch. And yeah.
This has been brought to you by Rain Shadow. I'm sorry, it's just like a plug. I'm just in the middle of all this.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're almost our non-financial sponsors.
Yeah. Okay.
This episode of The Rodcast is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Just kidding.
Not a sponsor.
However, if they want to sponsor my personal content,
Anyway, these entities, destroying their planetary sphere,
hence the past tense.
thus were forced to find room for themselves upon this third density, which is only one in your solar system at their time-space, present which was hospitable and capable of offering the lessons necessary to decrease their mind-body-spirit distortions with respect to the law of one.
Make sense?
Yep.
They blew themselves up
Yes, they did.
because of war.
Boom.
How did they come here?
They came through the process of harvest and were incarnated through the processes of incarnation from your higher spheres within this density.
Sick. How long ago did this happen in our years?
I am having difficulty communicating with this instrument. We must deepen her state.
This happens a few times.
This occurred approximately 500,000 of your years ago.
Yeah. Do you think maybe you're from Malbec, and that's
No.
why you're familiar with it?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No. I don't know.
Something might change your mind.
But I'm the Venus, obviously. I'm your Venus.
I'm your fire?
Was it your Messiah?
No. Yeah, I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. Your desire.
Well, where's the goddess part?
There isn't.
I thought there was like, I'm your god. Oh, that's like the fuck. That's the Razor commercial, isn't it?
Venus is razors. Dun, 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 dun.
I thought. Okay, I thought
Venus is the
goddess was somewhere in there.
That's one of their models, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
Venus
don't
is a
shave.
goddess, technically.
But Venus is a planet.
Well, Venus is a goddess in Roman mythology.
Yeah, planet.
Anyway,
Is all of Earth's population then human population of this Earth? Are all of them originally from Malbec?
sorry.
It's okay.
I am Ra. This is a new line of questioning and deserves a place of its own. The ones who were harvested to your sphere from the sphere known before its dissolution as other names, but to your peoples as Maldek, incarnated. Well,
They incarcerated themselves on Earth. Welcome to the hell, which is planet Earth.
incarnated many within your Earth's surface rather than upon it.
Boom. Within the
Yeah.
planet.
The population of your planet contains many various groups harvested from other second dimension and cycled third dimension spheres. You are not all one race or background of beginning. The experience you share is unique to this time-space continuum. Doctor Who got it right.
There's aliens inside the planet.
Doctor Who got it right.
And inside the moon.
Another thing Doctor Who got it right.
That comes later, though.
But Doctor Who says that the moon is an egg. Like the whole moon is an egg.
Yeah, that's not quite accurate. But as for creatures living within the planet, yeah.
They're lizard people.
I'm sure that might be some of them. We saw that little fairy doodad on, what was that, on TikTok?
Yeah, I still got to show you that giant snake.
Giant snake.
Remember I was telling you about...
Yeah, no.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, that there's videos flying around that there's giant snakes awakening. That many, many people back in the day, like Norse mythology and all the other stuff, said that they fell asleep under the earth, in the earth, and became stone, and they were hibernating for 500,000 years.
Like Cerberus.
I thought he was just in the underworld.
Wait, who was that giant stone snake thing?
The basilisk?
Basilisk. Yeah, thank you.
That's what bees basically are. They're like
Yeah.
giant basilisks.
Sick.
Yeah.
Can they eat the president?
Oh, they could probably eat anybody they wish. They're huge.
I'm curious.
Like, they're massive.
I need to see.
Like, think Harry Potter but huge and make it bigger.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wonder if they tunneled the holes for the people in the earth to...
Oh no, I'll just show you
conspiracy
the
theories. Oh, let's continue.
videos. Okay. You're next.
You want me to be raw?
You're next in line.
Oh, okay. Can you read that? Small.
Yeah, I'm fine now.
Okay.
I've got my glasses on.
All right. I think it would be appropriate to discover how the Law of One acts in this transfer of beings to our planet and the action of harvest.
I am wrong. The law of one states simply that all things are one, that all beings are one. There are certain behaviors and thought forms consonant with the understanding and practice of this law. Those who, finishing a cycle of experience, demonstrate various grades of distortion of that understanding of thought and action will be separated by their own choice into the vibratory distortion most comfortable to their mind-body-spirit complexes.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this process is guarded or watched by those nurturing beings who, being very close to the law of one in their distortions, nevertheless have the distortion towards active service. So the council?
The council, that's part of it. There's the Confederation of Planets, obviously. Technically, the Orion Group is still service. Service to the Creator within service to cells, but yeah, anybody like that. The angels are entities that have been considered angels over the centuries, are part of that as well. Ra speaks about this later, where those are basically the ones that control first and second density reincarnations, because it's kind of an automatic cycle. So like, squirrel gets hit by a car, they're just like, oh, there you go there now.
Okay.
Yeah, so all of the higher density that is watching over us, essentially.
You know, the next word is thus, and I'm going to laugh one of these times where he goes, and then thus. And
He
I'm gonna
never
point.
does.
Oh, darn it. I tried.
Sorry, babe.
Okay. Thus, the illusion is created of light, or more properly, but less understandably, light love. This is in varying degrees of intensity. The spirit complex of each harvested entity moves along the line of light until the light grows too glaring, at which time the entity stops. Is that like the veil?
No.
No? Okay.
Do you want to talk about it now, or do you want to keep going?
I'll just keep going first.
Okay.
Sorry. This entity may have barely reached third density, or may be very, very close to the ending of the third density light love distortion vibratory complex. Oh, is that the... Never mind. I'll just keep going. Nevertheless, those who fall within this octave of intensifying light love, then experiencing a major cycle during which the opportunities are many for the discovery of the distortions which are inherent in each entity, and therefore the listening of these distortions.
Okay. Questions?
Is this like that your like lovely Aaron talks about like the stairs and then
Yes.
you can't keep going because there's a light? I thought the light was supposed to be
Yes.
like the quote unquote veil.
No, the veil is just the veil of forgetting.
Oh, okay.
That's what third density has to have now, which it didn't have it at first. And then the Logos realized that polarization was taking forever for third density to breach in the fourth without the veil, because they already knew everything. So there wasn't really intensive catalyst happening.
Okay.
So they're like, we're going to put the veil, you're going to forget everything. You're going to start over every time. And you need to make the choice. The point, the whole point of third. And it needs to happen over a few lifetimes. And I'm assuming eventually, this doesn't really get cleared up much at all. Like, you kind of ascend these metaphorical stairs until the light of love is too bright. So my curiosity is, at that point, if you're still ascending these stairs after physical death, Like, because you're not actually ascending these stairs.
No.
When you die, you go into the ether, basically.
Which is probably why they say go into the light.
Right. And you basically are reviewed by your higher self to be like, okay, is there anything that we want to do? And when you're in this area, this dimension, I guess you could say, the amount of love and compassion there is so powerful that if you have even some of the most minor karmic things that you did, you'll have the desire, like the burning desire to go back and atone for that karma.
So like me every day.
I don't know about that, but
Like, oh man, I really
so
fucked up. I gotta go back and try.
what doesn't really come across totally clear for me is like, is there a little bit of seeping out of the veil, or is it completely the pre-incarnative decisions that are made that kind of determine the overall direction of where you're going and all that? Like, that's all spoken of in here, but it wasn't really totally clear to me. Like, if we had to start over every time, completely oblivious to everything every single time.
I thought after fourth density that doesn't happen. The veil.
Yeah, the veil is only third density.
Yeah.
So even if a fourth chooses to reincarnate into third, the veil is there. So fourth can come down as fourth in a physical body and still have some memory. But I don't know if they have all memory. Like, there's so many intricacies in here. And every sublogos and every density has...
Well, if we think about it, let's go take it and look at Jesus.
Uh-huh.
He was fourth, came down into third body.
Uh-huh.
Didn't know a thing until he was just like, oops, I killed you.
Well, when he killed his friend, he realized he had power.
Yeah.
He didn't really get into the spirituality aspect of it all until he was 18 and went to India.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, we're taking Jesus. Like, look, and take that as an example of, no, they don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And Jesus was so high fourth that he could have been fifth. Like, he could have just been like, I'm going to go to fifth, but instead Jesus chose to come back in third to help. So, like, and what I find interesting is that, like, Jesus, born in Nazareth, right?
Yeah.
Killed his friend. Was like, oh shit, there's something special about me. Went to India to practice Eastern religion. So Hinduism and Buddhism. And then came back and was practicing that. Was teaching that in sense of like he was teaching law of attraction and everything that is very much the law of one.
Yep.
And humans, being disgusting bastards we are, took it and had to make a religion out of it. And then you got all these different kings taking the Bible and manipulating it. I'm not going to get too into that, but Jesus was the gangster of the law of attraction. He's the OG that came and like preached it to the fucking world and was like, yo. And then every time the misunderstandings come from the language barrier, as well as the translations over the centuries and
the fake translations
and the manipulation and all of that,
and the deletions
right. The complete removals, like, oh, that never happened. We're just gonna stick that over there, Red Sea Scrolls and all that other shit. That whatever, all of that shit, right? And when Jesus was saying Father, Jesus meant the Creator.
I mean, technically, the Creator is a father in third density thought processes.
Well, even outside of just third density thoughts, it's
Well, I mean,
yes
like
and no.
it's a word of
But
third density,
but
really.
you are not your dad.
No. But it is a creator.
Yes. So in that
So
sense, it
in
applies.
our mindset,
In that sense, yes. But it was also very much a terms within Judaism
yeah, you're
because
right.
of God.
Yeah.
So yes, like God that they worshipped, Yahweh, isn't source, by the way. Yahweh is a positive polarity entity that came down to communicate things in positive as much as possible, but was easily led astray by negative entities. Long and short of it.
Oh, so you mean like Adam and Eve?
No. As in, like, the God that spoke to Moses, Moishe, and said all of these things. And then, like, the good things that Moishe speaks of. And the good things are not the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments were the negative entity coming in saying, oh, yeah, you can't do this and this and this and this.
Because that's not free will.
Yes, exactly. So, Moishe got good communication often. There's a lot of shit in the Old Testament that's good, but everything that's bad is not Yahweh. But it is pictured that way because of the confusion. The negative entity snuck in there and is like, oh yeah, by the way, also this.
Like the Jews are the best and Jews. Yeah.
Any sort of thing that is negativity or separation is not a positive entity coming down to communicate.
You can't eat this food because I say so.
Yeah.
Because it's unclean.
Yeah. All of that shit is all the negative.
I'm sorry if anyone's Jewish and I've offended you.
I'm not sorry.
I don't like offending people.
That's okay, but the truth hurts.
Opinion.
True. What is the length in our
Just
years
goes back to the
of one of these cycles currently?
So I just jumped right back into it.
Yep.
One major
Well,
cycle.
unless you have other questions.
No, one major cycle is approximately 25,000
Because I
of
went on a tangent.
your years. There are 3 cycles of this nature during which those who have progressed may be harvested, like the reapers. At the end of 3 major cycles, that is approximately between 75 and 76,000 of your years. All are harvested regardless of their progress, for during that time the planet itself has moved through the useful part of that dimension and begins to cease being useful for the lower levels of vibration within that density. The Reapers.
Yes. No, not at all.
Hey, they do harvesting.
Not like this.
The Reapers are technically the previous race.
Yeah, but it's not the previous race
No, I know.
that goes through and harvest.
You know what? I'm just relating everything possible to Mass Effect.
There are a lot of similarities.
Turians, if you're out there, please find me.
No, don't. Because I know why.
Move on.
Do you have any questions about that? The cycles and all that? Yeah, it's fairly easily understood. What is the position of this planet with respect to progression of the cycle at this time?
I am wrong. The sphere is, at this time, in 4th dimension vibration.
This was in the early 80s.
Yes. This material is quite confused due to the society memory complexes embedded in its consciousness. It has not made an easy transition to the vibrations which beckon. Therefore, it will be fetched with some inconvenience.
Is this inconvenience imminent within a few years?
I am wrong. This inconvenience or disharmonious vibratory complex.
Almost disharmonious.
You know,
You forgot the I.
You know, earlier you messed up a word and I didn't correct you.
What'd I mess up?
You said suffice instead of suffice.
That's just preference. You missed a letter.
Well, maybe I'm just very blind to the letter I.
No, because you saw the word in suffix. The letter in suffix. We are both really tired today.
Yeah.
I've been sick.
I've
You
had
too.
3 12s in a row,
Yeah.
basically. So,
Yeah.
this inconvenience or disharmonious vibratory complex has begun several of your years in the past.
Disharmonious.
I don't care. You're getting the word how I'm saying it. Disharmonious.
Hey! You can continue the next sentence. It's
It
okay.
shall continue unabated
Ooh, you got that one.
for a period of approximately 30 of your years.
I put that in there only because it was in there.
It's like, oh shit, I fucked up.
Well, I haven't listened to. Oh, they're saying 3-0, as in like 3-0-30.
Oh!
So they're saying the numbers.
Oh!
Yeah.
I thought he was like 3. Oh shit, I fucked
No.
up. 30.
It was 3-0-30. So I left it in there because I thought it was curious. I hadn't listened to the original channelings, and I would suggest if you're curious of how it sounds like, go ahead and do that. I'm uncomfortable with how it makes me feel listening to the original sessions.
Oh, because it's creepy?
Yes.
Okay. Do they say 25,000 like 2 5 0 0?
I know in the audiobook he'll go 25,000.
Huh.
Yeah.
So it's almost like Ra's trying to make the numbers appropriate.
Trying to make them clear.
Because time and space. You know?
Well, I mean, there is the distortions there, but also just to make the communication clear, the numbers.
okay. It's
Because
like,
you can
I'm
say
trying to
30,
tell you.
it can sound like 40, it can sound,
Okay, that makes sense.
I think it's more that
It's like
than,
B and D.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So Don talks about, or asks if after this period, if Earth will be fourth, and obviously, just common sense kind of said yes, so Ra agrees. And Don's curious about estimating the percentage of the population that will, quote, inhabit the fourth density planet, end quote. And Ra's response is good. It made me giggle when I first heard it, and then when I second heard it, it still made me giggle. Because Ross says, quote, the harvesting is not yet, thus estimation is meaningless, end quote. And like I said, I always found it funny. I'm not totally sure why.
Well, it's like, it's not happening yet. So
Shut the fuck up, don't worry about it.
You have no control over it, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's just like all of us overthinking human beings. When we all need a plan that it goes from plan A to plan Z.
Yeah.
Just because.
Stop. Just live.
Can't.
Yeah, you can. You can. You just gotta stop.
Need itineraries.
You see how the itineraries went from a plan to just a text.
Yeah.
We don't need that shit. We'd come in here and live it. And it works.
Read it for forward, God.
Well, that's just because your life is...
Hell.
No, you decide to do work and school, which is important.
No.
And then sleep, which is important.
And massive.
The other thing is you play video games, less important.
It's very important.
But your priorities are your own, and that's okay.
It helps me relax. Go on.
So, I put in here that Ra gets a little nostalgic, saying this is, it's a play on words, as I'm guessing Ra doesn't really experience emotion, at least as we're familiar with them.
Emotion, I feel like emotion is there because it's not going to be like emotion like how we can explain it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
but it's going to be like we're sitting here and we like, I'm happy. But that energy that we're creating of happiness is what they feel.
Yeah, probably.
That energy.
Yeah. But it's also kind of like...
Kind of like how us empaths, we can feel the energy of the emotion.
Well, they're going to feel everything because everything's vibrations anyways.
Well, that's what energy is. It's
what I'm getting at
vibratory.
is more kind of like the L-core. Since we're talking Mass Effect.
Query.
Yeah, well, yeah, they have to state their emotions because
Yeah.
they communicate through scent and minute.
Yeah.
So the communication's different. So Don asks, does the fact that we are in this transition period now have anything to do with the reason that you have made your information available to the population?
I am Ra. We have walked among your people. We remember. We remember sorrow. We have seen much. We have searched for an instrument of the proper parameters of distortion in mind-body-spirit complex and supporting an understanding group of mind-body-spirit complexes to accept this information with minimal distortion and maximal desire to serve for some of your years. To me, it seems like they're like, we remember this. We've been wanting to talk to y'all. We haven't been able to. Thank goodness we found someone who's good enough.
But it gets better.
So the answer is in short is yes. However, we wished you to know that in our memory, we thank you.
You know what's shitty about it? Don doesn't even
How rude.
recognize it. He just sits there and goes right into fucking UFOs.
How rude.
You have a sixth density entity saying,
Thank you.
thank you.
Like, you're welcome.
Like, oh, great. Like, yes, let's serve. And he's just like, so,
I mean, okay, in my opinion, I can kind of understand why. One, it might just be a little overwhelming. So you're just going to move on because you're so overwhelmed. But it could also be because they don't have a lot of time. They want to try and get as much into the channel as possible because Carla's just going to get tired as shit. So
they're not really, I mean, they're concerned about that, but they're just going to keep rolling. They're not.
Well, I mean, like, they're going to be like, oh, we don't have enough time. We got to keep going. It's going to be like one of those things in the back of your mind.
The biggest thing here, I think, is to always remember that Don is a scientist.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it just keeps going anyway.
Yeah, you try to keep emotion out of everything.
Yeah.
And even in what I have listened to the recordings, his questioning is very directed in that manner, you know, succinct. Like, I'm asking this is it. So when Jim is reading in the audiobook, he puts a little bit of the emotion back into it, but not like an incredible amount. All right. So now we're back to aliens and UFOs. Don asks, the dish-shaped craft we call UFOs have, some have been said to come possibly from the planet Venus. Would any of these be your craft?
I'm still... sorry. It's just going from thank you to, is this your UFO?
Yeah, right?
I'm sorry. I am Ra. We have used crystals for many purposes. The craft of which you speak have not been used by us in your time-space present memory complex.
Space-time.
What did I say?
Time-space. You can continue.
I was like, what was that?
Someone's at our front door.
It's probably DoorDash.
They're early.
Yeah, they are. It's 8 o'clock. Go on. I'll keep going. It's okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'll be back.
So Ross,
It's like people don't know how to read a clock.
people like me can't read either, so. So Ra goes into I am Ra. We have used crystals for many purposes. The craft of which you speak have not been used by us in your space-time present memory complex. However, we have used crystals in the bell shape in the past of your illusion. So then Don goes into asking how long ago Ra used bell-shaped craft. And that's in quotes. And Ra responds with, quote, 18,000 of your years ago and did not land. Again, 11,000 years ago, end quote. I don't know why there's two different dates. You'll have to ask him. So Don goes into asking, The photographs of the bell-shaped craft and reports of contact from Venus exist from less than 30 years ago. Do you have any knowledge of these reports? Ra says, I am Ra. We have knowledge of oneness with these forays of your time-space present. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. You're going to have to explain something.
Oh, great. I'm usually pretty good at that.
We're going to take a pause on where I was and just wait.
Okay. Phenomena.
Okay.
Yes, where are we?
Explain this part here. Or Don asked how long Ra used the bell-shaped craft. Because he said 18,000 of your years ago and did not land. Again, 11,000 years ago. That doesn't make sense to me.
So in there, Don asked how long ago that Ra used the craft. Ra says, and there's dots there because they talk about more.
Yeah.
They used their craft 18,000 years ago and didn't land. Then again, they used it 11,000 years ago.
Then again. So you could have wrote, then again.
That's not, it's a quote. That's not how it
You're
was
right.
typed.
It is a quote. You're right. I did say it was in quotes when I read it too.
Yes.
So that
it's
is my
quoted
apology.
directly. So yes.
So I have already read the question, but you can read it again if you'd like, now that we have backtracked.
No. If you've read it, it's good.
Okay. So Ra says, I am Ra. We have knowledge of oneness with these forays of your time-space present. We are no longer of Venus. However, there are thought forms created among your peoples from our time of walking among you. The memory and thought forms created therefrom are a part of your society memory complex. This mass consciousness, as you may call it, creates the experience once more for those who request such experience. The present Venus population is no longer sixth density. So what is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Pretty sure the planet's still sixth.
Did we all just get knocked down? I say we because I'm a Libra.
Well, a lot of them have left to serve elsewhere.
Okay.
And I think that's the most of it.
Okay. I'd also like to say thank you for calling aliens
Yeah, I did that for funnies.
on our page here.
Yeah.
Craft and aliens.
Yep. That was intentional.
Aliens.
Do any of the UFOs that are presently reported come from other planets here at this time, or do you even have this knowledge?
I almost read that wrong. I am one of the members of the Confederation of Planets in the service of the Infinite Creator. There are approximately 53 civilizations comprising approximately 500 planetary consciousness. Oh my god.
It's a lot of C's.
Oh goodness. Approximately 500 planetary consciousness complexes in this confederation. Say
Yes.
that 5 times fast. This confederation contains those from your own planet who have attained dimensions beyond your third. It contains planetary entities within your solar system, and it contains planetary entities from other galaxies. It is a true confederation in that its members are not alike, but allied in service according to the law of one.
So lots of entities.
Yep, tons of them.
Do any of them come here at this time in spacecraft in the past, say, 30 years?
I am wrong. We must state that this information is unimportant. Silly humans. If you will understand this, we feel that the information may be acceptably offered. The law of one is what we are here to express. However, we will speak upon this subject. Otherwise, you stupid human, this doesn't matter. We're here for this, but whatever.
Well, and I put it in there kind of for that reason, because Ross says multiple times in some of these questions, like, yes, it is unimportant, or they use many other much more intelligent words for that sometimes.
But because you asked, I'm not going to say no because it's free will.
Not just free will. There are many, many times where Ross says no. Many times, and I will include those.
I didn't expect Ron to say no.
Oh, a lot.
No, stupid human.
Well, it's not that. It's more like no, because it will infringe upon the primary distortion,
I guess that makes
the
sense.
law
you
of
stupid
confusion.
human. Okay.
You're giving Ra this like condescending attitude all the time.
I
Like,
mean, I
Ra's
would.
just hanging out doing a thing. Like they're trying to serve, and you're making them sound like an asshole.
Oh, I'm
like, no,
sorry.
you stupid fucking human, stop asking. Like, no.
My apologies. Opinion.
That's very much so.
My apologies. I don't mean to.
You don't need to apologize. All is well.
You're all as well.
Yeah, everybody's well.
Opinion. Anyway. We're going to make it. We're going to make it a splash.
Oh, it's gonna happen. I just gotta get a button over there and find someone to animate shit.
I'll do it.
You can animate?
I don't know. I'll figure it out. Each planetary, if I can do PowerPoint slides and I can make them do different transitions and make it look real cool, I'm pretty sure I can do it. Opinion.
Okay.
Probably not. Each planetary entity which wishes to appear within your third-dimensional space-time distortion requests permission to break quarantine, as you may call it, and appear to your peoples. The reason and purpose for this appearance is understood and either accepted or rejected. There have been many as 15 of the Confederation entities in your skies at any one time, the others available to you through thought. At present, there are 7 which are operating with craft in your density. Their purposes are very simple: to allow those entities of your planet to become aware of infinity, which is often best expressed to the uninformed, oh my goodness, as the mysterious or unknown. Mm-hmm. Uninformed.
It's okay. Like I said, we're tired. Oh, no. Did all of that make sense? I had a feeling that second paragraph was going to throw you for a loop.
Yeah. The first one made sense. That makes sense. In my opinion, that's easy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there have been people. Cool. And then the last one, there are 7 that are here.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it allows... Yeah, you just tell me. Because
What do I need to tell you? I don't know what your confusion is.
I'm trying to get through it.
Uh-huh. There's only like 3 sentences there.
Thank you. I know I'm having issues reading. So basically, there are 7 in the 80s that are helping people become aware.
Yes and no. They're operating.
Okay.
So they are doing their functions.
Okay. So
Not necessarily here to help.
they're just allowing it.
In a sense.
Okay. They're just here to observe.
Well, there's that. It's not always allowed, per se. It is, because free will. But it also isn't, due to Confederation and the quarantine. So they have to allow entities in, like the freedom to enter.
Okay.
So there are...
So, like, are they like the bouncers of the planet?
No.
No. Okay.
Once again, infringing on free will can't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So they use what's essentially like a metaphysical, more than we can understand random number generator to decide when cracks or openings in the quarantine exist.
Okay.
And negative entities can find those. And they are all throughout space-time. So
like,
space-time.
So like in Doctor Who, when there's cracks in time and people slip through them?
No.
Okay.
It's not a crack in time. It is an opening in the quarantine.
Okay.
There's basically a force field around our planet
Okay.
that is run and protected by the Confederation and the Council. The Confederation can go to the Council, and they can also, if the Council doesn't come to a conclusion, they can go to... There's a bigger one that only has 9. I forget what it's called right now. And request permission to go about a mission on Earth. I don't know why Earth is so special. Truthfully, I don't.
Does it matter?
Does what matter?
Well, you always tell me to not overthink things, so I'm just throwing it back at you. It doesn't matter.
It's just one of those random curiosities of all the planets in our solar system. One, Venus had life 2 billion years ago, and now we have Ra and Kuo and Latui from that, and we had Maldek that blew themselves up, and then you have the Council chilling out in the rings in the octave of our universe, in the rings of Saturn. Great band, by the way. And there's also a planet on the other side of the sun that even Ra's don't really consider that a planet. It's more just kind of a rock, but
maybe it's because we're the 4th planet for 4th density.
We weren't 4th density until 2012.
I understand that, but we're a successful planet. I don't know.
It's just we have Venus, Earth, and then Maldek that blew themselves up. Also Mars. Mars did have entities as well.
Yeah, that's proven even by science.
But why only this little bubble, basically? Maldek. This is one of the things that blew my mind was when Maldek blew themselves up. You know, we have the asteroid belt in our solar system.
Yeah,
that's Maldek. What's left of Maldek?
Maybe because they're in our planet.
Well, that was brought here, but the third, Earth's transition into third. I guess really my confusion is, what are the densities of the other planets in the solar system? We know Venus is 6th. And that's it. And we know we're 4th. At this time, 3rd into 4th. Ross says 4th. Doesn't say anything about the other planets. Now, there are plenty of other channeled materials that we can get into that may discuss that, but the raw material...
And what about other systems?
Does not. Oh, he talks about other systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other galaxies.
Yep. There's confusion there, too. Galaxy, universe, solar system, blah, blah, blah. Ready to continue?
Yeah.
Okay, so Don says, I am fully aware that you are primarily interested in disseminating the Law of One. Hello. However, it is my judgment, and it could be wrong, that in order to disseminate this material, it will be necessary to include questions such as the one I have just asked for the purpose of creating the widest possible dissemination of the material. If this is not the objective, I could limit my questions only to the application of the Law of One. But I understand that at this time, it is the objective to widely disseminate this material. Is this correct? You all right?
Yeah, it's just... It's like that. It's that human thing of, I want to know more.
Yeah.
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 So I'm just sitting here as I do it myself.
Yeah. About yourself, too.
See, it's funny is I can just to everybody else, but, it doesn't matter to me,
Projection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ra. I am Ra. This perception is only slightly distorted in your understanding, learning. We wish you to proceed as you deem proper. That is your place. We, in giving this information, find our distortion of understanding of our purpose to be that not only of the offering of information, but the waiting, okay. Oh, like it's a wait, not like we're waiting for something. It's a wait.
Yes.
Just putting that out there. But the weighting of it according to our distorted perceptions of its relative importance.
Which the context could have shared that as well.
It could have, but I figured I'd put
That's
it out
okay.
there. You know, not all of us are wide awake. Thus, you will find our statements at times to be those which imply that a question is unimportant. This is due to our perception that the given question is unimportant. Nevertheless, unless the question contains the potential for answer giving, which may infringe upon free will, we offer our answers.
This is what we were talking about earlier. Simple.
Yep.
And so now we're going about the end of the channel. The usual checking up on Carla, see how everything's going. So Don actually thanks Ra at this point and asks how Carla's doing. And Ra responds,
The instrument is balanced due to your care, however, her physical vehicle is growing stiff.
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 So at this point, Don suggests continuing later. Ra precisely agrees. So Don asks if it's okay if yet another person may attend. Right?
Yeah.
Ra says it is correct, and this final person completes a number of those suitable at this time to attend, stating to remember the instructions given before for the first friend, and Ra leaves.
This is correct and completes the number of those at this time able to come who are suitable. Again, remember the instructions given for the preparation of the vibratory sound complex, Tom. I am Ra. I leave you in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. Go forth rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one creator, Adonai.
And that's the end of session 6. There was a lot, but there also kind of wasn't.
No, we talked a lot on it.
Yeah, we did.
Got a little
Tangential.
off track.
Our food got here 15 minutes early.
Right.
Bastards.
How dare they?
Yeah, we're going to report them for coming early. Now our food's cold.
Our food, no, we're not, no.
So what are your kind of thoughts on session 6 as a whole?
Just like everything, very informative, very deep. But it's becoming easier and easier to understand things as we keep going through it. Though I'm pretty sure for others it's not.
Yeah. And speaking on
really
that,
tired.
like she said, if anything we speak on, you have questions on, always comment, email, DM on Twitter. And I think Twitch
You can
has
even send
DMs.
your questions to LL Research.
You sure can.
Because
in the
they'll
same
be
methods.
better
You can
than
email
us.
them, and you can communicate with them on Twitter and on YouTube. Their stuff is always in the description. I think I have their Twitter handle down there. I'm not sure. If not, I will update that. But yeah, this one, I thought the most interesting thing for me in this one, outside of like the first kind of introduction to Maldek and all that, and the aliens in the center of our planet, is the end of the healing process. That I found interesting. And then a lot of this one was kind of just like, yeah, I get it. Not the whole I've heard this before. I get it, but
Yeah, I get it.
I got it.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense. I got it. Thanks.
Yep.
Saying thank you. Usually he responds with a "You're welcome" or
Usually Don.
sorry, it so bothers me.
Yeah, but it's okay. He's
It's not
the
just-
scientific mind.
Yeah, I mean it's not just because it's a sixth density being. It's because when people usually say thank you, you don't just go
Yeah. The
about them
scientist might.
aliens.
The scientist might.
I've had professors that are PhD level that
Uh-huh.
will still say you're welcome.
Yeah, well.
Because
I'm not
it's-
going to sit here and judge Don on this. I'm just saying
I
that
know.
it is kind of interesting.
I'm not judging. It
And
just bothers me.
He's very much in this for data.
Opinion.
Very much in this for data.
Yeah.
Which is good because you kind of need that drive for something like this.
You do. I mean, like, I 100% understand it.
Yeah.
Because most people, like, look at, like, just early psychology, where the scientists are like, I
They
don't
just
care how
shove
you
a
feel.
chisel up your nose.
That or, again, little Albert.
Yeah.
They just don't care.
Uh-huh.
They're just going to get it done for information.
Yep. It's kind of fucky.
Yeah.
So.
And it's also in the 80s, so I mean, like, things are a little different then.
A lot different.
Yeah.
You see the clothes? Jeez.
I want them.
Not to mention the hair.
Oh, I want that too. I was born in the wrong era.
You could not handle hair from the 80s.
Oh.
You can't.
Why?
Too long.
Bet.
Afro.
There's chicks that had short hair that were all, like, spiky. That's pretty dope. Joan Jett.
I don't think you can handle that. It also wouldn't suit you. I don't think. But opinion. All right. So I think we're good here.
Yeah.
You good? All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Let's go get our foodstuffs.
We're going to get some foodstuffs in us again this time. This won't happen every time, but today was a different day than normal. So, like, comment, subscribe for the YouTube listeners, the podcast, YouTube listeners, YouTube watchers. I guess you could also listen on
you
YouTube.
technically listen while you're watching.
Yeah, there's not a
things.
whole lot to watch here, really. I'm just sitting here staring off, looking around, and nodding my head, and you're talking. So, yeah, there's a lot of that, too. And the podcast listeners, if you like what we're doing here, go ahead and give us a good rating. Give us a review. Let us know what you don't like. That'd be dope. We can see that and make the proper adjustments. And, yeah, Twitch people, you're awesome. Thanks for coming to the live show. And if you come to the live show Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Time, you can ask us questions live, and we will stop what we're doing. And we will answer that question to the best of our ability. Or I will click my button and put you the source so you can go get the best answer you can. Because I like clicking my buttons. So like I said, as always, go to the source material, people, please. Because that's where we get it from. And that's where you're going to get the everything. Because I don't put the whole session in here.
You look more tired than I am.
I am
like, just looking
exhausted.
at the camera, I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm also looking down at the camera, so it also makes me look more tired. And I have a hat on, which is putting a shadow over my eyes, which makes me look more tired. But yes, I am exhausted. I'm sure it can be heard in my voice too. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. The next episode, yeah, it's going to happen Tuesday. Or if you watch the replays, Saturday. Noon. YouTube. Podcasting platforms. All of them. At least as far as I'm aware. All right. See y'all later. And we'll talk at you later. Have a good one. We're going to switch to the thing. Ready? Bye. I am so hungry. And tired.